Hello, my name is Katrina. I am a graphic designer and I also have an Etsy shop where I sell cards, stickers, that type of thing, and I also move a lot of things around in my apartment. And last week I did a video of kind of like a New Year's organization and clean, and then when I was editing it I realized that I didn't really have like the results of anything. I just kind of ended it with the clean without showing what anything looked like after. So I thought today I have a few more clips from when I was cleaning and what I did. So what kind of started this whole thing is the vanity which you're sitting on. I got a mirror from my grandparents because they're moving out from one place into a smaller place. Well, actually from two places into a smaller place. Anyways, they had this beautiful mirror, and my granny's favorite thing recently is if you tell her you like something, she puts your name on the back of it to give to you when she dies, which is a bit morbid, but we let her do what she wants to do. So she's not passed away, she's still healthy, but they moved out of their place and gave me this big beautiful mirror, and I wanted to put it in my place, but when I removed the mirror from the vanity I had there, it looked kind of silly and the vanity just didn't really suit that area. So I ended up getting a new vanity to better go with the mirror. I sold the old vanity on Marketplace. My old one, I sold it to a dad who was going to fix it up and give it to his daughter for her birthday, so I thought that was very cute. And yeah, now we have a new vanity and mirror. The second thing I did that kind of started this was I got a portable dishwasher, a countertop dishwasher. I have a couple friends who lived in small apartments without dishwashers, and both of them were like, you need to get a countertop dishwasher, it'll change your life. And me and my tiny kitchen and obviously I care about like aesthetics and how things look. I was like, no, I don't mind doing dishes that much. Like, it's too big for my apartment. I don't think it'll look good. I'll just wash my dishes by hand. And after living here for how long? 6 years I've lived here, and I finally decided that I couldn't do dishes anymore. So I bought a countertop dishwasher, and my friends were not wrong. It definitely is a lifesaver. Like, it's so much easier just to not always have dishes sitting there. Like, I would always just do them every night, but often I'd be like ready to go to bed and then I'd look over and be like, oh, I still have dishes to do, then I have to do those dishes. And it just keeps the counter a lot cleaner. Even though I do have this like big white square on my counter, I don't have dishes always sitting there drying. I don't have dishes out in the open. Like, I can just close this big ugly white box and I don't have to look at the dirty dishes or the clean ones, any dishes at all. Even though it's not the cutest thing, it's incredibly practical, and I wish I got it sooner now. And while I was doing that, I had this bigger coffee pot that the grinder broke, and that was the reason I liked that coffee pot, because it had a grinder, and that broke a while ago. I think like probably like 6 months to a year ago, and I was just using the coffee function. So I was just using the coffee function on it and doing like 1 to 4 cups every day, and it is quite big to not have the function that I wanted to have. So I ended up getting rid of that and getting a smaller countertop one, which makes a lot more sense when you have the giant dishwasher on your counter. All my glasses were so goofy and silly, and I just got a few more glasses, and like I like a smaller mug for coffee, and I didn't have any smaller mugs. I just had like giant mugs that I used exclusively for tea. I don't know why. They're too big for coffee. I don't like cold coffee. They were good for tea. So yeah, I have a clip. I had a bunch of mason jars, and they were from my ex-roommate that I lived with, and when she moved out she left them, and then I moved them to this place when I moved, and I think I probably had like 4 or 5 when I first moved in, and they were just slowly breaking. Not even like, I'm sure I broke some of them, but like one of them, the bottom just fell out, another just cracked, and yeah, they were old, and not real cups. And then I have some, again, from my grandparents. When they moved out, they had these like beautiful glasses, which when people come over, no one wants to use them because no one wants to use these beautiful vintage glasses and then knock them over and break them and feel bad about it. So I had those, and then I had some giant goblets that I had one in a white elephant, and no one wants to use them. Instead, I had these tiny little glasses that I still use. I still like them. I also ordered some normal sized wine glasses just to replace the giant goblets I had, and then I put giant goblets out on my street and someone took them, so I'm hoping they found a good home. And last but not least were these metal plastic cups that, they're metal plastic cups, they're aluminum cups that my sister and I, we went to a Whitecaps game, which is like the soccer team here, and we got these cups and we were like refilling them with water because it was like such a hot day, and we were like, these are the best glasses ever. So I kept a couple of them, and then when I went to the Taylor Swift concert, again, they had these glasses but smaller, and I was like, well, I gotta take these home because these are the best glasses. So I have 4 more of those that I got from me and my friends at the concert, and collected them and carried them home in my hands because you weren't allowed to bring like a big bag into the concert. Carried them home, walked home in like the sleeting rain. It was freezing and wet, and I brought these home. And they've been sitting on a shelf in my kitchen ever since, and I'm not going to get rid of them, but I don't think they need to be out as my everyday glasses because, like I said, cold water from those glasses is elite. It's so good. I got some real normal drinking glasses, so when people come over I can offer them a glass of water in something normal and I can drink my drinks out of a normal drinking glass. So yeah, I think that's it for the kitchen. I also cleaned, I have like a little area for shoes, and then I have these bins on top, and I just went through these and cleared them out, got rid of anything I don't need, organized some things, because the reason I have these bins here are because I just throw things down when I get home. So I organized them, took things out that don't need to be there, and folded the tote bags that are in there because there were many. I also went through and cleaned out these drawers on the other side. They're technically, I use them for kitchen drawers. It's one room in here. So I cleaned out the junk drawer I have, and I cleaned out my food drawer. Basically, it's just a drawer with all my food, with most of my like dry storage food. So I went through and cleaned that up, and I am very upset to say that I found a can of cream of broccoli soup that expired in May of 2020. I moved in here October 2019, so that is very, very expired. I don't know if I've ever gone through this drawer and looked at the things, and I can't remember the last time I've eaten cream of broccoli soup. I also went through and cleaned off all the dust on the wine bottles that I have sitting on my counter. While I was doing this, I was actually saying, like, when I first moved out, I moved to London with my friend, and me and her and our other roommate, you would never have just like this much wine sitting around our apartment. We would just like little after work wine night. 24-year-old Katrina would be shocked by the fact that I just have all this wine sitting here. I just kind of like to have them on hand, or if I do go out somewhere then I can just grab them, but I don't do that often enough apparently because I had to dust all of them. I also have a very fine bottle of avocado oil which resides in my wine rack as well. I just have a few other things in the wine rack that just fit in there and kind of take up the space, and then I have this candle and a plant my aunt gave me here, and then I went and got this double-decker bread box. I just kind of had this empty space here that I had a few things. It looked nice, but it wasn't very practical, and it looked kind of empty and weird. So I just shoved a few things in the bread box and then kept all my decor and stuff on top. It was pretty easy to assemble and it looks very good, I would say. I had pretty low expectations for it in that place on top of the bread box, and then I kept my picture behind it. This was my mare's. It's The Blue Boy, I don't know the history behind that painting, but everyone who comes to my house says, why do you have that picture? I don't think it's that creepy. Other people think it's creepy, but it might be more creepy now because just his little head is peeking over. So yeah, I still like it. I think it fills up the space well and kind of gives an eclectic vibe. That's what I tell. Maybe that's just what I say when I'm being a bit of a hoarder. While I was over at my vanity, I forgot to mention my little night table that I assembled in my last video and didn't show. It's really just like tucked away. It's kind of just like shoved between my vanity and my bed, and I just put my books there, my journal, and then last but not least is my new bed that I assembled. It really doesn't look any different than my old bed. It is just a bit shorter, and yeah, again, still no headboard. And it is nice because though the bed is lower, there's no box spring, so the legs underneath are higher and I can fit more stuff underneath, and storage is always a plus when you live in a little shoebox like I do. Okay, so that is the end of my video, my little update for my apartment and the part 2 of my New Year's clean and a bit of a mini apartment tour maybe. Just kind of showing like what things look like now that I cleaned them, because I felt like the last video was a bit unfinished. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye bye.